Hey, I'm meteorologist Doug Myers with the latest look at your forecast. Highs yesterday in the 50s, near and slightly above average for this time of year, even reaching 60 in Concordia. We'll continue to be near seasonal today with upper 40s and still some low 50s possible. Some peaks of sun early this morning, but the more we get into the daytime hours, the more clouds that we'll have through the day. Overcast skies expected, and even an isolated chance for some light rain, or at the very least some patchy drizzle, especially south of I-70 later on this afternoon. Better chance of rain really begins to increase after sunset and closer to about 6-7 o'clock, and we will have a rainy night for most areas. Now, there is still some uncertainty on the specific details of this, but for the most part, my confidence is somewhat high. I didn't make a whole lot of changes to the forecast from what I had yesterday. Obviously, still being mindful that it is still subject to change as we go throughout the day as new models come in. So make sure you're checking up on the latest newscasts and updates throughout the day as we give them to you. We'll continue with the precipitation overnight. We may end up being dry for most of tomorrow, but there is a chance that we could get a little bit of light snow, maybe a little bit of a wintry mix in the afternoon. That's not expected to be overly heavy, but it is certainly something that could cause a few problems out on the roadways if it comes down at a decent rate, maybe some reduced visibility. Potential rainfall, and this should say potential precipitation because there will be some winter precipitation, including snow mixed in with this accumulating precipitation. But you'll notice that for areas mainly along and south of the Turnpike, including Topeka, will mostly be rain. So a lot of that will be rain, about a 3/4 inch, and then further off to the northwest you go with a little bit better chance of a wintry mixed in with the rain. That's why the totals are a little bit less. There's still an opportunity to where areas around the Marysville, Washington, Concordia area may not get a single drop of precipitation. Some models are indicating that, so don't be surprised by that. This model at least shows at least something, but not much, comparatively speaking, to the rest of northeast Kansas. As far as snow is concerned, as we go throughout tonight into tomorrow afternoon with that system that pushes through, we're talking about less than an inch. Looking at some other computer models through Friday, again, you can see some minor differences. I would ignore the NAM. The NAM has been a little bit on the high side with precipitation totals, but you can see between the other three, pretty decent agreement where the higher precipitation totals will be at the very least in the southeastern half of our viewing area, less up towards north central Kansas, and that is going to be the trend that we'll be dealing with. And as far as the snow is concerned, again, ignoring the NAM, that has been the outlier for the past couple days. You'll notice that we're not looking at a whole lot of snow between the computer models. And just to give you an idea of what we're looking at, probability of 2 inches is not very high, but if we were to get it, because it's mainly going to be all winter precipitation up in our northwestern communities, that's where it could be a little bit higher. That is if precipitation gets up there. And the probability of seeing more than 4 inches, it goes to 0. So with all this in mind, with all the computer models that we've looked at, you've kind of gotten through my process of what I look at between the computer models on a typical day. And obviously based on what it's been saying the past couple days. I didn't make really any changes to the contours, or zones 1, 2, and 3. I just kind of made some adjustments to what the texts say in each of them on the left part of your screen there. Likely stays all rain in zone 3, 1/4 inch to 3/4 for most areas. Obviously, some areas could get outside of that range, including seeing more rain, maybe up to 1 inch. That's possible in some areas. And then obviously zone 2 will be dependent on temperatures. Zone 1 will likely be all snow if precipitation reaches that area, where up to 2 inches is possible, but more than likely it's probably going to be in the 1 to 2 inch range. So, or I should say trace to 1 inch range. That's what I meant to say. Trace to 1 inch range. So bottom line is roads could be hazardous tomorrow morning, whether they're wet, whether they're slushy, whether they're icy, because I do expect temperatures to be in the upper 20s in north central Kansas, but staying in the mid 30s to possibly upper 30s along and south of the Turnpike, which is why it mainly stays all rain. Again, we'll monitor that opportunity for a few flurries Friday afternoon. Shouldn't be much in the way of accumulation, but could certainly have an impact on roads, making way for a few slick spots, so be aware of that. Temperature stuck in the 30s, very little warming through the day. For most areas, north central Kansas will have the biggest warm up with upper 20s in the morning to possibly low 40s in the afternoon. Otherwise, we'll be warming into the 40s despite overcast skies Saturday. I can't rule out some light precipitation Saturday. It's just not going to be very meaningful, so I'm keeping it dry in the official 8-day. Better chance of getting more sun Sunday, a little bit more of a breeze too, with highs near 50, and then we'll gradually be warming up with a lot more sun heading into next week. Looking at the extended outlook, the 6 to 10 day outlook, warm and dry, as we kind of saw a little bit there. There's 8 to 14 day outlook, warm but possibly a little bit wet, and the 3 to 4 week outlook, normal conditions. So that's what we're looking forward to. And by the way, it is the final day of the month. So the updated forecast for the month of December will be out later today. So we'll have that for tomorrow. And obviously, we'll continue to update you on the storm system to round out the work week. So make sure to keep checking back in throughout the day and future newscasts, WIBW.com and social media for the updates on that. Have a great day.